Keretapi Tanah Melayu Berhad. Malayan Railways Limited is the main rail operator in Peninsular Malaysia. The railway system dates back to the British colonial era, when it was first built to transport tin, previously known as the Federated Malay States Railways and the Malayan Railway Administration. Keretapi Tanah Melayu acquired its current name in 1962. The organization was corporatised in 1992, but remains wholly owned by the Malaysian government. Fares are generally reasonable, but the low frequency of the intercity trains does not usually make them competitive with other modes of transportation. Railway network. The 1000mm gauge railway network in Peninsular Malaysia, which is controlled by KTMB, consists of 2 main lines and several branch lines. Most of the lines are made out of ballasted system and locally made concrete sleepers, which had replaced wooden sleepers as early as 1982 for the Kereta Jerantat and Sungai Tumpat lines. West Coast Line. The West Coast Line runs from Padang Besar Railway Station close to the Malaysia-Thailand border in Perlis to Woodlands train checkpoint in Singapore. It is called the West Coast Line because it serves the west coast states of Peninsular Malaysia. The train runs through most of the major stations in the west coast of Peninsular Malaysia, such as KL Central in Kuala Lumpur and Butterworth Railway Station in Butterworth, Penang. East Coast Line. The East Coast Line runs between Gemmas Railway Station in Negeri Sembilan and Tumpat Railway Station in Kelantan. Gemmas is the rail junction between the West Coast Line and the line itself. Like the West Coast Line, it is called the East Coast Line because it serves 2 of Peninsular Malaysia's East Coast states, namely Pahang and Kelantan. In fact, it does not run along the coast at all and only meets the South China Sea when it terminates at Tumpat Railway Station. It runs through the interior, often through deep jungle, thus earning the nickname Jungle Railway. Terengganu is the only state in Peninsular Malaysia not served by the KTM railway network. Infrastructure, track and electrification. The total length of the network was 1,699 kilometers. However, due to the closure and subsequent removal of the section of tracks between Tanjong Pagar Railway Station and Woodlands train checkpoint, the new total length of the network is 1,677 kilometers. The West Coast Main Line is double-tracked and electrified to 25 kV AC between Padang Besar Railway Station on the Malaysian-Thai border and Butterworth Railway Station, and southwards to the Gemmas Railway Station. The branch lines between Batu Junction and Batu Caves Commuter Station, and between Port Klang Junction and the Port Klang Commuter Station are also double-tracked and electrified. The remainder of the West Coast Main Line from Gemmas Railway Station to Woodlands train checkpoint in Singapore, as well as the entire East Coast Line from Gemmas Railway Station to Tumpat Railway Station, is single-track. Other railways. There are several other railway lines which are not owned by KTMB. This includes Petronas's Kuantan Kereta line, which is now operated by KTMB, and the Sabah State Railway line from Tanjung Aru to Tenom in Sabah. The Penang Hill Funicular Railway also does not come under KTMB's control. Network branches. There are several branch lines running from the 2 main lines. In use intercity and AMP, freight bucket Mertajam, Butterworth, commuter and AMP, freight Port Klang, Kuala Lumpur, Batu Caves, Kamunting Butterworth, Butterworth Gurun, freight only Port Klang, Pulau Indah, Kempis Tanjung Pelepas, Kempis Pasir Gudang, Butterworth North Butterworth Container Terminal, Depot Ipoh, Thalam, Batu Gajah Main Depot, Disused Pasir Mas, Rantau Panjang, Hatyai, Sabang Jaya, Sri Sabang. Seremban, Port Dickson, dismantled Phalam, Trano, Quang, Batuaring, Batang Bergentai, Tampan, Malacca Town, Taiping, Port Weld, Bukit Kuda, Jeram, Kuala Selangor, Yahawa, Kuala Pila, Tapa Road, Talukintan Wharf, Salak Selatan, Ampang Junction, Sultan Street, Ampang Junction, Ampang, Woodlands Train Checkpoint, Bukit Timah, Tanjong Pagar. Rolling stock. Following the consolidation of all state railway entities in Malaya, Malayan Railway inherited a fleet of mostly British-made steam locomotives, a variation of locomotives introduced to Malaya since its first railway line went into operation. Dieselization in Malaya began immediately after MR's formation with the launch of its first diesel engine, a Class 15 shunter, in 1948. Efforts by Mr. to fully convert to diesel power between the 1950s and 1970s effectively drove steam locomotives out of service, with whatever left of the fleet massively retired in 1972. KTM drew its diesel rolling stock from a multitude of locomotive companies from England, Japan, Canada, and more recently, India, Germany and China. The company had also ventured in the use of DMUs. None of these services survive. Electric trains were only introduced in 1995 with the launch of the KTM commuter service, consisting of 3 models of 3-car emus. The commuter emus were for a long time the only electric trains in Malaysia. In 2010, introduction of the KTM ETS services from Kuala Lumpur to Ipoh brought electric traction to long-distance travel. As of present, most of the West Coast Mainline are run by ETS and on some sections, commuter services except for the Gemas to Johor Bahru section, where double-tracking works are still in the process. Motive power. The following is a list of locomotives in the KTM fleet. Some have since been retired. Diesel locomotives. 20 Class 15 diesel electric shunters, manufactured by English Electric's Vulcan Foundry in Lancashire, England, United Kingdom. 15 Class 17 diesel hydraulic shunters, manufactured by Kisha Seizok Aisha, Japan. 10 Class 18 diesel electric shunters, manufactured by Brush HM Hull, England, United Kingdom. 10 Class 19 diesel electric shunters, manufactured by Hitachi, Japan. 26 Class 20 diesel electric mainline locomotives, manufactured by English Electric's Vulcan Foundry in Lancashire, England, United Kingdom. 25 Class 21 diesel hydraulic mainline locomotives, manufactured by Kisha Seizok Aisha, Japan. Brought in 2 batches. The first, 21101-21115, came in 1965, followed by 21201-21210 3 years later. 40 Class 22 diesel electric mainline locomotives, manufactured by a consortium of English Electric, Associated Electrical Industries, and Metro Camel in Saltley, Birmingham, England, United Kingdom. 15 Class 23 diesel electric mainline locomotives, manufactured by Hitachi, Japan. 26 Class 24 diesel electric mainline locomotives, manufactured by Toshiba, Kawasaki, Japan. 17 Class 25 diesel electric mainline locomotives, model GT18LC2, manufactured by General Motors in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. They came in 2 batches, 25101-25112 in 1990, and another 25201-25205 in 2002. 20 Class 26 diesel electric mainline locomotives, model Blue Tiger, manufactured by Adtrans in Germany in association with GE. 20 Class 29 diesel electric mainline locomotives, manufactured by D-Loco Locomotive and Rolling Stock Co. of Dalian, China. 28 YDM-4S on lease from Indian Railways, manufactured by Diesel Locomotive Works, Varanasi, India, brought into Malaysia in the late 1990s. 5 YDM-4 Indian Railways brought into Malaysia in 2009, refurbished by Southern Railways Golden Rock Railway Workshop, Tiruchirappalli, India. KTM hybrid trains for KLS Rawang and Kajang Rawang. Electric locomotives. 2 Class L electric mainline locomotives, manufactured by CSR Juzhou, on trial service, brought in 2015. Electric multiple units. 18 Class 81 emus, manufactured by Jenbacher Transport in Austria-Hungary. 22 Class 82 emus, manufactured by Union Carriage and Wagon in South Africa. 22 Class 83 emus, manufactured by Hyundai. 5 KTM Class 91 6-car electric train sets by Marubeni Corporation. The trains are manufactured by Mitsubishi Electric and Rotem. The first train was delivered on 10 December 2009 and was supposed to be operational in April 2010, but was delayed to operate on 12 August 2010. Instead, it is used to service the Seremban Kuala Lumpur Ipoh sector. 38 KTM Class 92 6-car EMU, manufactured by CSR Juzhou for KTM commuter. 10 KTM Class 93 6-car electric train sets that are used on the ETS line, locomotive, ETS carriage and AMP wagon workshop, Batu Gajah Fleet Central Workshop. Klang Fleet Depot, locomotive, carriage and AMP wagon running depot, Kuala Lumpur Central Fleet Depot. Batu Gajah Fleet Depot. Bukit Tengah Fleet Depot. Bukit Mertajam Fleet Depot. Gemmas Fleet Depot. Tumpat Fleet Depot. Port Klang Fleet Depot. Singapore Fleet Depot. Guamusang Fleet Depot. Padang Besar Fleet Depot. Kempis Fleet Depot. Electrical train set depot, Batu Gajah ETS depot. Electrical multiple unit depot, Kuala Lumpur Central EMU depot. Rawang EMU depot. Seremban EMU depot. Port Klang EMU depot. Unit subsidiaries: KTM Intercity and AMP ETS. KTM Intercity is an intercity passenger railway service operated by Keretapi Tanah Melayu within the regions of Peninsular Malaysia and Singapore. The service is intended to carry patrons between stops serving cities, town and village. Its trains are currently powered by diesel locomotives. KTM Intercity services consist of local trains and express trains. Lines along the west coast of Peninsular Malaysia currently support mostly express trains, while those along the east coast include both mail train and express train services. The KTM ETS, commercially known as ETS, which is stand for Electric Train Service, is the fastest meter-gauge train service in Malaysia and in worldwide that currently operates as an intercity rail service between the cities of Gemmas and Padang Besar on the Malaysia-Thai border by the Malaysian national railway operator, Keretapi Tanah Melayu. KTM Commuter. KTM Commuter is an electrified commuter rail service first introduced in 1995, catering especially to commuters in Kuala Lumpur and the surrounding suburban areas. areas. KTMB provides 248 commuter services daily, serving 45 stations along 175 route kilometers. The network consists of two main sectors: a Seremban line and Port Klang line, running at 15 minutes frequency during peak hours and 20 minutes frequency during off-peak hours. The Tanjung Malim shuttle service and Amp Rembau shuttle service, running at Seremban line both end stations, operates at half-hour frequency. Commuter coaches are currently the most modern in the KTM fleet and are air-conditioned. Currently, they have a fleet of Class 81, Class 82, Class 83 and AMP Class 92, in which almost all of the Class 92 are operational, while many more of the Class 81, Class 82 and AMP Class 83 has been scrapped, leaving only few to operate as a standby unit during rush hour. KTM commuter is a heavily utilized mode of transportation by commuters working in Kuala Lumpur, as the service is an alternative for road travel, which is occasionally hampered by congestion. Virtually all KTM commuter stops offer park and AMP ride parking lots for those who drive to and from the station are hauled. KTM commuter ridership is estimated to be about 50 million passengers in 2010. KTM commuter is currently the most profitable passenger service offered by KTMB, contributing 100 million Malaysian ringgit to group revenue in 2010, higher than KTM Intercity's profit of 70.94 million Malaysian ringgit in the same year. KTM Cargo. KTMB runs 37 freight train services daily, of which about 80% were concentrated in the northern sector. In line with the strategy to focus more on containerized and long-haul cargoes, KTMB now carries maritime containers, cement and food as main commodities. In 2006, the freight revenue increased 5.2% to $113.0 million. KTM Distribution. Its core business is in the provision of express parcel distribution services to the commercial, industrial and administrative sectors, and it operates within Malaysia and Singapore. Parcel distribution is carried out through its door-to-door service or from point to point through its station-to-station service. The company is also licensed by the Malaysian Communications and AMP Multimedia Commission as a courier service provider, which enables it to carry letters and documents up to 2 kg. This service has so far been monopoly of the Postal Department. The company owns an 18,000 square feet freehold property in Sri Damansara, from which it earns warehouse rental income. Property and advertising. Though considered as non-core businesses, KTMB benefited greatly from property and advertising segments in terms of value creation. In 2006, KTMB generated $22.4 million from property rental and advertising activities. Property. The property joint ventures were progressing comparatively well under the prevailing economic climate. As regards the Central Rail development, the Maple condominium was handed over to purchasers in August 2006, while the Saffron condominium is under construction and expected to be completed in 2007. Meanwhile, KL Central Development has embarked on construction of luxury condominiums, new office towers and lifestyle centre, whilst the construction of the Marine View Hotel in Port Dickson is expected to be completed in 2007. To cater for demand from surrounding residential areas, KTMB's partner for the Pradana development is in the process of constructing a new retail complex, and the project is expected to be completed in 2007. Advertising. Through KTMB's collaboration with Ganad Media SDN, PhD, the advertising revenue had increased by 9.7% to £1.47 million compared to the previous year. Several new advertising structures have been built in Klang Valley, while more on-train advertising media like panels and hand grips were made available on top of the increased demand for wraparound advertising on the commuter trains. Non-rail subsidiaries. Multimodal Freight SDN, PhD, incorporated in 1988, was licensed as a government-approved container haulier in 1991, and went on to obtain the government-approved multimodal transport operator status in 1999. The company operates a fleet of 225 prime movers and 1,300 trailer of both 20 feet and 40 feet configurations. The fleet is deployed at all major seaports and the inland ports of Ipoh and Nilai. KTMB Car Park, formerly known as KTMB SDN, PhD. The company was incorporated in 1994 and was renamed KTMB SDN, PhD, in 1995. With over 70 employees, the company operates 16 car parks at selected train stations in Malaysia through its subsidiary KTMB Car Park SDN PhD. The subsidiary is looking to expand parking space in Seremban and Sungai Buloh stations. Modernization. More info about railway electrification in Malaysia. Since corporatisation of KTMB, a program of modernization has been underway. In 1989, it embarked on the double-tracking and electrification of trunk line between Rawang and Seremban and the branch lines between Batu Junction and Sentul, and between Kuala Lumpur and Port Klang, which allowed the KTM commuter service to start running in 1995. The next major project was the Rawang-Ipoh double-tracking and electrification project, which started in 2000, but the project has been repeatedly delayed by contractual disputes and is not expected to be ready before 2007. When complete, KTM expects to introduce frequent intercity service running at speeds of up to 160 km per hour. In 2002, the Malaysian government proposed the ambitious project of electrifying and double-tracking the entire Western Line and awarded contracts in 2003. The project was however put on hold by Prime Minister Abdullah Badawi until March 2007, when Deputy Prime Minister Mohd Najib Abdul Razak announced the project's revival. In April 2007, the government announced that contracts for certain portions of the project had been awarded. In 2007, work also started to electrify and double-track the stretch of track between Sentul and Batu Caves. Developments. The following is a list of previous, current and planned railway development and upgrading works in Malaysia. Rehabilitation of 327 kilometers long meter-gauge tracks from Palau to Singapore and from Slim River to the main Seremban line in Malaysia. Double-tracking of the Rawang-Seremban route. Double-tracking of the Kuala Lumpur-Port Klang railway route, including spur lines to Subang Jaya and Sentul. Widening of railway tunnels near Seremban. Track linking Port Klang to Pulau Indah. Construction of railway bridges, road overbridges and underpasses along the Rawang-Kajang route. Construction of railway bridges, road overbridges and underpasses along the Kajang-Seremban route. Construction of railway culverts and box pushing along the Nilai-Seremban route. Construction of the port of Tanjung Pelepes, a rail link in Johor. Track works at Kuala Lumpur Central Station. Proposed projects Outer Ring Railway service to connect all suburbs in the Klang Valley without going through the city centre. Construction of the Sabang-Jaya-Sungai Buloh link, which will act as a freight bypass to avoid freight trains from having to enter the Kuala Lumpur commuter network. Works are divided into two phases. Phase 1 is from Sabang-Jaya, Sabang Airport. Phase 2 is from Sabang Airport, Sungai Buloh. As of now, Phase 1 had already started. A new integrated station named Penang Central will be built, which will connect KTM railway, monorail, bus and ferry service in one building at Butterworth. Tampan, Pulau Sabang, Malacca extension. Expansion of the KTM commuter fleet by 20 EMU train sets by 2015 and remaining 27 EMU train sets in 2017. Expansion of the ETS fleet with the purchase of an additional 10 EMU train sets to arrive by 2015 and 22 EMU train sets to arrive by early 2015. Extension of the ETS service to Kuala Kangsar in early 2014, Butterworth in mid-2014, Padang Besar in 2015 and Johor Bahru in mid-2016. Board of Directors. Chairman, YB Dato' Ir Haji Nawawi bin H.J. Ahmed. President, YBRSLT. Kol Datuk H.J. Sarbini Tijan. Non-independent, non-executive directors, YBRS Puan Nur Azura binti Tadzim, YBHG Datuk Ruhaisa binti Muhammad Rashid, YBRS N6 Selvarajo Manakam. Independent non-executive directors, YBHG Datuk Sri Zakaria bin H.J. Bahari, BRS Haji Rosli bin Abdullah, BRS Nsikaram bin H.J. Jahari, BHG Datuk Haji Kamara Zamin bin H.J. Modnor, BHG Datuk Senior Ahmad Zainuddin bin H.J. Jamaluddin. Heads of Strategic Business Units, Commuter Services, as Shida Shah Shahari. Intercity and ETS Services, Justine Jude. Freight Mode Zain Mautaha. Previous and current logos.